So guys, in the last video, as you could probably tell, I was really nervous and really uncomfortable because this is really my first time in front of a microphone, really ever. So I thought for this video, I'd actually do a voiceover just to kind of, I don't know, get the hang of talking in front of a mic and actually talking to an audience. My girlfriend and my best friends have been giving me advice and just kind of giving me, I don't know, kind of techniques on how to feel comfortable in front of the mic and talking about the game I'm playing or just talking to you guys. So in this game, in this video, I should say, I really want to talk about my journey through gaming. I really started off playing games as a really young kid. I want to say around 5, I got my first GameCube. And let me tell you, that GameCube had so many amazing games on it. I remember playing Mario Kart, freaking Mario Party. I remember I had some Rocket, what was it? It was the Rocket, not Rocket League. It was some rocket show that was on Nickelodeon back in the 2000s. Kind of shows my age, just kidding. I remember playing Power Rangers on there. I remember I had the old NBA Live. And I remember went back to it probably a couple years ago, and God, the graphics are horrible. I literally remember looking at that NBA Live and being like, wow, like these graphics amaze me. And today we have NBA Live and 2K, and their graphics are out of this world. And those are both games that I do plan on playing on my channel. I do love basketball, and I do love basketball video games. But besides the point, excuse me, guys, if I say a lot too. But once I got my first GameCube, I really remember just playing that and playing just casual games. Never really played like shooters like Call of Duty or Halo. But then came the day where I went to my mom's friend's house and her son was playing Halo. And that game amazed me, from the looks to the gameplay to just like the action of it. Everything about that game just hooked me. And I remember it probably took me a year or two to convince my parents to get me an Xbox and let me get Halo. And God, when I played that game, oh my God, I felt my palms were sweaty. I felt my adrenaline rushing. I was terrified of these aliens hunting me down. And I was so terrified of that game that literally, I don't know if many of you guys know, that first mission in Halo 1, the first Halo ever, that they board the ship and you leave on a, what is it, an evac ship. You just leave the main ship and you crash land on Earth. And that was the only level I played for probably half a year to a year, I'd say. And I was so terrified to leave the ship that crash landed. I remember just sitting in there and hearing the aliens approach the ship, and I would freeze, thinking, I'm going to shoot all of them, I'm going to take them all down. But as we know, that didn't work. Until I found out you could leave the ship. Whoa. I could leave the ship and actually journey out into the world. And though it's not an open world game, there was more to it. There was more to that game to explore than I really knew. And so I really remember the first time I left that ship, I'm walking out and I see a river, and I get into the river and I'm crouch walking, literally trying to hide, thinking that they'll see me every second of the way. And then I felt so relieved when I went over the hill and found some teammates. I felt so happy. And from then on, I played through the game, sadly never finished it. And I remember playing games on my original Xbox, like the first Call of Duties. Lego Star Wars was one of my favorite games, but I always had that bad habit of, leaving the disc in the Xbox. So when you started it up again, like it would kind of like, I don't know, it wouldn't let you start the game right away until my brother told me you can't leave the discs in there. So I was like, okay. And then I remember, what was the next system I got? I think it was the Xbox 360. I was an Xbox lover. I loved Assassin's Creed and Gears of War and Halo and Call of Duty. Like, I loved a lot of the Xbox exclusives. Even while I'm playing a PlayStation game. We'll get to that later on in this story. And during the Xbox 360, like, some of my most fond memories are waking up on the weekend and just playing with my best friend, waking up, playing zombies, whether it's Transit or Kino, or I just can't remember all the names at the moment off the top of my head. But I remember those were the games where we'd wake up in the morning, we just got off of, it's the weekend, we're off of class, we say we have no homework, but we really do. And then we we tried our hardest to find videos on YouTube on how to beat Transit and really never getting close, getting left behind, the bus leaving you. That is the worst possible feeling in any game, I feel, is the bus leaving you behind in Transit. But the Xbox 360 had a lot of special games for me. Like Gears of War, like that was probably the first time I ever played a game, I guess, that gruesome. I don't know, that bloody, that gruesome, because like Call of Duty is like all about war, and so is Halo, but like there's not as much guts and gore in it. Like you can chainsaw people in that game. Like what other game can you do that? That's not, I don't know, a horror game. I can't even name another one off the top of my head. You guys probably could though. Sorry while I move around in my chair. But really though, the Xbox 360, I remember playing Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 3. A lot of people hated that game, but I loved that game. I loved the scenery, I loved the plot, I loved the time setting, I loved Connor. Like, I loved that game, really, though. And that game literally made I'm Coming Home by, was it Ludacris or P. Diddy? One of them, I think. Literally, that was my favorite song of, I don't know, maybe the year. I would always listen to that song. And Gears of War 3, like, that game, if that game didn't make you cry, then I don't know what can make you cry. Just Dom himself as a character just touched me. That he was a man that lost his everything, his family, his wife, his kids, to this invasive force. And just how he sacrificed himself because he wanted to relieve himself of the pain, and also like he knew that was the only way his team could get out of there. So just games like that were what even furthered my love for video games. I really remember after that I got a PlayStation 3 mainly because of Infamous. You guys will most likely find out later on in my videos I am a massive movie comic book fan. I love both comic books and movies. That's why you'll probably see in a lot of my movies, a lot of my videos, I'll quote movies, or I'll make some kind of obscure like comic book reference, and I may be making the wrong one, but hopefully some of you get it. Hopefully I'm saying the right one. But I love the idea of kind of like not an RPG, but like being able to pick if you want to be a superhero or a supervillain. And how I play that game is I always went full playthrough, play good, then full playthrough, play bad. Like I loved just like the choices you had in that game. And I love the superpowers. I love how you rank them up. I love the electric feel. I loved everything about Infamous 1 and 2, and I even enjoyed some, not all of Last Son, or I don't even remember it. First Son, one of the sons, the middle child maybe. But I really remember that was the main game I played on there. I never really played Uncharted, and sadly, I'm sad I didn't. But really, that's the most memorable PS3 game I got. I know that you guys are screaming at your screen right now, wondering why I didn't play Uncharted or any other PS3 favorites. But in that time and point in my life, I was really into the Xbox. And The PSP. The PSP and I had a Vita were two of the most slept on devices in technological, not even just gaming history, technological history. They were so ahead of their time. And it's so sad today that the Vita is really a dead console. I still have one. I love my Vita. Oh god, I forget the name. It's a Dragon Ball game on there, and it's insanely fun to play. I look up at the screen. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm pointing the gun at Tessa's head. Ignore that part. But there I go saying again. But then I really played. What did I play on my PSP? I never played that Star Wars game. That Star Wars game on the PSP. I can't, my memory is somewhat horrible, guys. You'll eventually find this out, and I'll see if I'll do more videos like this, and I'll probably like write it out more, right? Have more scripted. But right now, this is just me talking to you guys. Then after the PS3 and the next gen consoles came out, I didn't get one right away. I honestly didn't. I sat with my Xbox 360 and just enjoyed that for the long run. I remember I got 2K, and then the month after PS5, PS4, and Xbox One come out, and 2K comes out on that, and I'm like, God, the graphics on that look so much more better. I'm looking at, I'm playing The Last of Us. I did get The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3. Because this game is just such an intriguing game to me. I love zombies. I love horror movies. I love horror games. And I love that this just isn't a simple like run and gun horror movie. It's really something that's deep and has plot and meaning, and you feel something for these characters. And I feel like that's really what changes games, is like how you get attached to characters. Because literally one of my favorite games of all time, I played on the iPad, and it was The Walking Dead, the Telltale series. I cannot tell you how much I love that game. I can rave about that game all day. That game made me fall in love with The Walking Dead. And then when I started watching the show, I fell out of it. But the game with Lee and Clementine is absolutely one of my favorite games of all time. I love the characters in that game. I love even just like the gameplay of it. It's really a tap to play. It's almost like an RPG. You pick who you talk to. You pick your voice line for them. Whether you come off as aggressive or you side with this person or this person. And God, I loved that first season, taking care of Clementine. And don't even get me started. I shed infinite tears at the ending of that game. If you have not played that game, I absolutely recommend that you go and play it on whatever device, because I'm pretty sure they just released a full version, because Telltale got bought or sold or whatever, and now there's another company working on the game, and they released the last season and like a whole, like, I guess, would conglomerate be the word to use? I don't know. They put a whole compilation. I don't know. They put a whole grouping of them together. And season 1, season 2, finding out. No. I won't spoil it for you guys. I'm sorry. But I loved that game. And see, games like that, The Last of Us, it's like you'll see I'm an emotional guy. And I love games that have feeling, that have emotion, that have some reason to get tied to a character. And games like The Last of Us, The Walking Dead, even Gears of War, I wouldn't necessarily put Call of Duty in there because you don't really get tied to any of the characters. None of these shooters I really get tied to the characters, but there's special ones that just hold a place in my gaming memory, my gaming heart. So next gen consoles come out. Back to this, backtracking. Next gen consoles come out, and I didn't get one for a while, and I'm playing GTA and just wishing I can go into third person mode and look at these beautiful graphics. And I make the decision to get a PlayStation 4. I'm Xbox convert. I was originally Xbox all the time, but I betrayed and went to PlayStation. I know, guys, I'm sorry, but the games that the PlayStation had are the reason why I made the shift. Like games like Assassin's Creed, I kind of fell out of. Halo, I fell out of. I still liked Call of Duty. Gears of War, I fell out of because they lost their luster to me. But games like The Last of Us and Infamous on the PlayStation 4 and God of War. Oh my God! Don't even get me started on God of War and Spider-Man and like I love all the PlayStation exclusives. That's the reason why I made the shift. I love God of War so much. I've played through that game so many times, and honestly, if you guys are interested in seeing me play through that again, I'm more than happy to play through that. And if you guys are want me to play through Spider-Man, I'm down to do that. Because something I want to do with this channel is actually have a playlist called Couch Co-op. And I know with the whole COVID-19 situation going on that there's really not this isn't necessarily the time and place to have people over at my house, but I do want to have friends over to my house where we sit on a couch together and just have that nostalgic feeling of, playing a game together with your friend in the same room. I love online gaming. I love being able to sit in a party chat, and just talk and laugh with your friends. And God, nothing beats just laughing with your friends in person. And so that's something I want to do. I want to have my best friend, my girlfriend on here, some of my other friends. Like, I really just want to have a whole group of people on this channel. And I want you guys to be there for it. Like, I really want to share that with you guys. So let me know if you're down for that idea. Whether or not you're down for it or not, I'm going to do it. Because I really am just excited for this YouTube channel, and that's been something I've been wanting to do. The name of the channel was almost Couch Gaming, but I kind of wanted to avoid the gaming aspect of a name. I just didn't really like the sounds of that. Oh, I'm heating up some wings, guys. I think I smell them. Hold on real quick. Alright, guys, sorry about that. I was heating up some B-dubs leftovers, I'm talking about how I shouldn't have people over, but I'm eating out, so sorry about that, guys. Some garlic parmesan wings are not meant to be burnt.